The government has announced plans to repossess undeveloped land in special economic zones to weed out speculators. Now, Industrialisation Principal Secretary Juma Mukhwana now says investors will have a 6-month period to commence setup or risk losing their leased land in the zones. Mbogoh has more on the government's plan to create close to 30,000 jobs by 2027.
Since the inception of special economic zones in the country and nearly 100 billion shillings in investment, they have only created 7,000 jobs, a number that the government now says is not commensurate to the incentives provided, which should have reflected in higher job opportunities. It is this slow pace that the government now seeks to fast-track, with the ministry warning investors that going forward, they will only have 6 months to start activities or risk losing space at special economic zones.
But what we are saying is that we really need to also tighten that space. For example, if you look at Naivasha, we've been developing the Naivasha special economic zones. Some people were given land there to develop 5 years ago, and they have not done anything. So we have now reviewed those laws to say, if we give you land and within 6 months you have not made any development, then that land will be taken away from you.
We've had incidences of international investors who come looking for land and then they don't perform as per their promise. We've had an incident, and we've recalled the land from them. So we are very effective. We are serious about investment in our zone. We keep them the conditions, we keep them time.
In doing so, the government hopes to create at least 26,000 job opportunities in the next 3 years. At the same time, investors have been urged to ensure that jobs created are beneficial to employees and the respective value chain.
If people are being paid a low salary, that's not an incentive. And yet you'll find investors who come here saying Kenya is not competitive because your salaries are too high. And we're saying, but if you can't pay those salaries and you're not paying tax, what else would we get from your investment?
As the 9th annual SSZ conference gets underway here in the capital, the government has remained non-committal on the specific actions that will be taken on investors found to be flaunting the labor laws in the country, even with reports indicating that Kenyan workers are being exploited by some of the multinationals operating in the country. Mbogoh, Citizen TV, Nairobi.